So she was a part of my friend group, so she was one of my best friends at the time. Very high energy, giggled a bunch. And that's not just because I laugh at everything. I truly thought she was funny and very quirky. And she was such a good friend to me. She's kind of one of those people like where if you get to know them, you'll love them. You know, she's kind of shy at first, and she doubted herself a lot for no reason because she's so smart and beautiful. And we drifted apart, you know, for no apparent reason. There's no exact pinpoint that we just stopped being friends. It just happened, and it was nobody's fault but ourselves, I guess. And that makes me really sad. The fact that we just drifted apart for no reason, nothing even happened. One of my favorite memories of me and her is just, I think this was after we went swimming, and we were having a sleepover at her house, and we spent the whole night on Omegle, and as like dumb as that sounds, it was so fun. We had such a good time. I laughed so hard, and it's such a good memory that I hold and that I can hold on to. It's really nice. So we spent that whole night on Omegle just video chatting random people, and it was funny and weird, and we'd meet weird people and we would be weird, and it was so funny. But we just drifted, and it just happened, and I didn't try to stop it. You know, there's this undenying sense of guilt that I lost touch with somebody so close to me, and then I just let it happen. I miss her very much. I still care about her, and as much as I have from the beginning, I hope she's doing well. It's all I want, you know? Her being happy would just make me so happy, because I know what she's been through, and I know how she's doing, and it's kind of off and on, and I just, you know, I hope she's doing okay, and I hope she's staying strong. I almost tried to ruin our friendship. I feel so bad, and I can't take any of it back, and I wish I could. I am so sorry if I made her feel like she wasn't important to me, because she was. It's one of the most inhumane and terrible things I've ever done in my entire life, and I can't forgive myself for it. I can't forget it, and I feel really bad about it still. And I feel really sorry. It's something I regret very, very much. I would have never done anything to ruin our friendship. I'm glad I got to be your friend again for a little while before we drifted apart. But it just kills me to know that I hurt your feelings in any way. I want to believe that she's still the same, but I also hope she's changed. Because I've changed. You know, I hope she's a little wiser. I hope she's cautious, and I hope she's careful about who she opens up to. I hope she can forgive me one day. I hope she's doing well. And if she's not, then I'll always be there for her. Always. Always. Even if we don't talk, I'm always going to be there for her. I care about her so much.
So she was my best friend in 5th grade, and it was when I just moved to Austin from California, and I didn't really know anybody. I was like really shy at the time, and like had anxiety or whatever. I was shy. I didn't really talk to anybody, and so I met her because she was in my class, and it was kind of funny because at first, I don't want to say she bullied me. She didn't bully me. Her and this girl were really good friends, and I guess they didn't really care for me much, and they kind of just gave me attitude and talked to me wrong, and so I was afraid of her initially. And then I think later on she ended up apologizing to me, and we kind of like grew from there, and she became my best friend. I don't know if she ever considered me her best friend, but I saw her as my best friend, definitely. Well, we got to middle school, and even though we were really close in 5th grade, we obviously had more classes, so we got kind of split up a little bit during the day. And I think a lot of times people try and like categorize kids into like these groups, and we ended up separating because she was more popular and I turned into like this little weird hipster kid or whatever. And so we kind of just fell out. It wasn't really anybody's fault, but we stopped talking. We didn't have much time together anymore, and her friends weren't my friends and mine weren't hers, and so it kind of just faded out slowly, and I guess we both started to get acquainted with people that the other didn't really like, or at least for me, from 6th grade to 8th grade, we completely fell out. And it went slowly, and it took time, and we would still talk here and there, but by 8th grade, we didn't really talk to each other pretty much at all. A lot of times, people like put on fronts, and they're really good at acting like they're good in front of other people, like in public, and they act like everything's all cool and stuff. So obviously I don't really know, but from the looks of it, what she puts off, at least I think that she's doing good. You know, she seems to have a lot of good friends, and she seems like she's always in a good mood and having a good time, and I know she has a close relationship with her sister, and so I think she's good, and she does good in school with her academics and stuff. I think she's pretty good with her family, and if I were to take a guess, I'd say she's doing pretty good. But again, I don't talk to her very much anymore, so I don't know for sure. But I would think so, and I'd hope so. It wasn't from when we were friends. It was more recent, but I hadn't talked to her for a while. I'd say maybe a year or more. And I needed a ride to school, you know, because I don't have a car. And so I know she lives close to me, so I called her, and I was like, hey, you think you can give me a ride to school? And she was like, yeah, for sure. And I remember being really nervous for whatever reason. I guess because we haven't talked in a long time. But I was kind of afraid that maybe she wouldn't like me, or it'd be awkward or whatever. But she pulled up, and I got in the car, and it was really easy going, and I felt completely comfortable automatically. And somehow we got into like conversation talking about her family and stuff, and she like opened up to me, and I felt comfortable talking about my family with her, and it was just kind of nice how easily it clicked. It just reminded me how close we were, and it happens every time we reconnect, and it's just really nice. I'm sure most people's regrets would be, you know, like losing touch, of course, but I always kind of saw her as like a family member. You know, you have these people where even if you don't talk to them for a long time, you're not really like close friends anymore. There's just something special about them that makes them feel like family to you. And you know, we don't have to talk much. We don't talk very often, but when we do, it's always really comfortable. And I wish that I hadn't let her, you know, like drift away. And of course, like it wasn't anybody's fault. It wasn't my fault. It wasn't hers. I don't blame her for anything. But the fact that I let somebody who feels like so good to be around like get away from me and separate, it's probably the biggest regret. I kind of feel like I not lost a family member, but you know, like it's like a distant grandma that you don't talk to anymore, and your mom makes you call them every once in a while. It's like that, and I wish that I had forced myself more to like go out of my way to try and spend time with her and stuff, and I do now, but even then I don't make much of an effort. But I regret not talking to her more and reminding her how much I love her and how much I care about her and stuff, and telling her that if she needed anything, that I would be here. I wish I'd done that more, because maybe then she'd go out of her way to talk to me more. But that's probably my biggest regret.
She was my, like, childhood best friend. Pretty much, like, best friends since birth up until, like, 7th grade. But she's the person who, like, literally, like, all of the greatest parts of, like, my early childhood are with. In 6th grade, we were still kind of hanging out. I would go to her house after school, like, every single day. She was just, like, what was, like, familiar to me. Like, you know, from before we were in middle school, like, all I knew was, like, her and she had, like, an older sister who was always, like, the coolest thing ever, and she got us, like, really excited about, like, middle school and, like, all this stuff. But whenever we got to middle school, it started to be different in 6th grade, but then 7th grade was really when we just kind of, like, I don't know, we just stopped being friends. It's like there wasn't really any, like, specific reason or anything. That's how I feel. I really hope she doesn't feel that it was different, but I'm scared that she does. But it was like, you know, we took different classes, we met different people, and we had one class together, but she was always talking to someone else, and I was talking to someone else, and I don't know, but I just have this big feeling that she thinks that I was kind of, like, trying to be someone I wasn't, and, like, trying to hang out with people that were, like, different, like, the cool crowd or something like that. I just feel like she really thinks that that's what happened. That I left her to go, like, I don't know, that I just, like, left her behind and went and, like, moved on, and maybe I did, you know, to some degree. Maybe I did kind of try to be someone I wasn't for a little while. I just really hope she doesn't think that I'm like that, or, like, I'm still like that, or anything like that. As far as, like, what I've seen from, like, them on, like, social media, or just kind of, like, throughout the years, because I mean, like, I've, like, seen her around for years, and I mean, she lives just by me, you know, we've gone to school together this whole time. I mean, I think she's, like, grown up into, like, such a beautiful person, like, inside and out, and from who I knew back then, she was already beautiful. But I think it's really cool that I think she's, like, blossomed and kind of come out of her shell. She has, from, like, what she does, like, theater, and I just think it's really cool that she's, like, has confidence, and that she's, like, really found that thing that she can, like, come out of her shell in. I have literally no reason to, like, resent her in any way. I still love her, and I'll always care about her. As far as, like, my favorite memories and stuff with her, it's hard to just pick, like, one, because literally, like, half of my life, well, all of my early childhood was spent with her, like, almost every single day. Like, there's this one summer that I can remember that was still to date, like, the best summer of my life. It was, like, the time where, like, you, like, rode your bike everywhere. Like, that's what we did. We, like, swim in the gross, like, creek at the park, and, like, all of that, and just, like, everything about her, and, like, her house, and, like, I don't know, like, even though I'd been there, like, a billion times, it was still, like, the coolest place to be. Her parents were, like, second parents to me. They loved me, and they would even, like, discipline me. I just miss, like, that dynamic, and, like, eating dinner with them, and just everything that went into that. I think, like, the coolest part of, like, our friendship was just that me and her were, like, we were friends before, like, either of our spirits had been, like, crushed by, like, the reality of the world. So, like, everything we did was always so, like, imaginative, and, like, we would just always play these, like, really, like, elaborate games, like, having superpowers, and it was just, like, there was no limit to, like, what we could do. It was just so, so fun. Like, those are just the best memories. Things I regret, like, during our friendship, whenever we were really, really little, like, really young, I was kind of, like, closer with her older sister, and we we made her feel really left out at times. And we were mean, and we were cruel. And I really regret that, and I have no idea. I mean, kids are just mean, but I knew better, and I don't know why I let myself do that. I really regret just kind of any time in my childhood that I didn't treat her with the love and respect that she deserved, or show her how important she was to me, because she was so important to me, and she still is. And as far as now, I guess I regret that I didn't fight for our friendship, or like any of it. I regret that I just let myself drift and like just not be a part of her family's life anymore. Like I hate that I just let that happen. And I thought about fixing it so many times. Like I kept thinking like, I'm gonna write her like this anonymous letter and put it in her mailbox or something, just to like tell her everything and just how much I miss her and everything. And I never did that. And I have these like stress dreams where if I really feel like there's something I really need to do, I'll dream that I already did it, and then I'll wake up like pissed that it didn't actually happen. And I've had dreams about just talking to her and crying with her. Like I've had that same dream like so many times. I still can talk to her, and I hope that I get the courage to, and I hope that we somehow get back into each other's lives, because I don't know, it's just when you have like that much history with someone, it's like you can't just forget it. You can't just like pretend like it didn't happen, because it did. So yeah, I regret that I didn't fight for something as amazing as that.
He was a year younger than me. Everything that we did together, we both just had the same exact interests, same exact views on almost anything. The coolest thing is that like how we met is like it was like a one in a million chance, because he lived in like past Cedar Park. He went to Cedar Park Middle School, and we met just at a swim meet. I can't remember exactly what like made me go talk to him, but we just started talking, and that day, the day that we met, he invited me over to his house, and then from there we just bros. He's like a brother to me. Like there's never a time where I didn't want to be around him. There's just something about him that made me always just kind of idolized him, even though he's younger than me. We were close all the way up until the day that he had to move. I remember like watching him leave. Like I stayed with him until like the day he left, and like as much as I kind of hate to admit it, I did. Like we both cried like as he was leaving, because we knew that everything was going to change. We knew that all the fun times that we had at his lake house were going to change. All the times that like we literally felt like there was no other care in the world together. We promised each other that we were going to just keep texting, stay connected, but I don't know, about a month in, it just kind of mutually changed. Started being the star quarterback at his high school, and like started getting into like a lot of like important things over there, and I had just gone into high school, so I was really busy too, and I don't know, we just like just stopped talking. He comes back like to Austin a few times because he's best friends with my neighbors, but every time he's come back I haven't seen him, or I haven't talked to him, and it really like, I don't know, I really just regret never saying anything to him. Just recently he had a very big family tragedy, and I wanted so badly to like just call him or text him and just see like how he's doing, but I just never got the nerve to do it. I never got the courage to just check up on him, and that's what I regret the most. He was the half of me that I wanted to be. We didn't have to be doing anything, we could just be sitting there, like not even talking. It was still somehow enjoyable. I still see him on like his posts on Instagram or Snapchat, and it seems like he's doing really well. He's doing a lot. He's got a little baby brother who's I always see him with, always taken care of. When I think of like who he is now and like how he's been, I still see him as that innocent kid, like just doing whatever came to mind, whatever he wanted. I can't imagine him having changed too much, just growing up and just getting older. My favorite memory was like, I'm pretty sure we were both maybe 10 together, and we were at his house, and he was really into Legos, and so he had a bunch of little Lego guys, and he had a crap ton of Nerf guns, and so we just all throughout his house just set up about 100 of the little Lego guys, and then just basically played basically army with Nerf guns, and we just ran around the house just trying to shoot them. I don't know, we did that so many times. Him being like one of my best friends as a kid, and like remembering all the child memories just makes me miss him even more, because like you don't get to do that many childish things anymore. One thing I read during our friendship was one time didn't like, I don't know what it was, but I think I got mad at him for pretty sure he just ditched me one time, and so I like didn't talk to him for a week, but that week was probably like the longest week of my life. When we finally hung out again, like the second I saw him, I was like, hey man, like I don't know what I was thinking, I'm super sorry. He said, yeah, I don't know why I went and did whatever he did. The thing I regret is just not ever trying to connect back with him. Just first thing letting him go, and then second thing never really trying to connect back with him.
This person was one of my best friends. I met him in 7th grade, and then I only got to know him for a year. I think the reason that we drifted apart was mainly because he moved. He ended up moving to Dallas, actually. It's kind of sad, because even though I only knew him for a year, like we did get really close in that year. And I learned all these things about him, and he learned all these things about me that is just so interesting. I feel like he was probably the most interesting person I've ever met in my entire life. He grew up in a different country, actually, and then came here in the 7th grade. When he came, he was just so new to everything, because he grew up in Ethiopia, actually. And he was like one of the purest people I've ever met, just because of the way he grew up. I think he's doing really well, actually, because it's like right after he moved, he would like call me and text me, and we FaceTimed like a lot, and he showed me like his new house and where he lives, and talked to me about his new school and how much he likes it, and he's doing really well. He's really involved with the soccer team and stuff, and he really likes his high school, and he gets to travel with his church a ton. He can tell like good people from bad people, and he's always looking at the positive sides of things, and it's just amazing to like know someone like that. I think my favorite memory with him would be one time I took him to dinner with my family, basically, and we drove out there, and it was something like my aunt, my uncle, my grandparents, and my family all in this car, and they had never met him before, and he would tell us stories in the car, stories like he lived in like a village. It was kind of in like the middle of nowhere, basically, in Ethiopia, and he'd tell us stories of like he'd be like hanging out in like the forest next to his village, and he'd be sitting in a tree, and he was eating a banana, and then 3 monkeys came like towards him, like swinging on branches and like barreling towards him, and he was freaked out. He had a slingshot on him, and he shot one of the monkeys with a slingshot, and it fell to the ground. And like scrambled, and then the monkey saw a hyena, and it chased it away. And it was just like weird stories like that, you would never think about, or you think it's like just in movies and stuff, or never experience, because from here to there it's so different. And just like hearing all the stories about his family and where he lived, like amazed me. Like it was so cool to hear all those things. I think the biggest thing I regret is probably just letting him kind of drift away after he moved. But we would call a lot after he moved. And he had the heaviest accent, so every now and then we'd call and he'd be talking and telling a story or something. My response would be always like really, or like answers like that, because I didn't get everything he said, but I got the gist of what he said. So, and we'd call and it'd be like twice a week to like twice a month, and then it just got less and less. And I feel like that was a lot on me to let that happen, basically. And that's my biggest regret.
I don't think there was like one specific reason, but we did get into like a really big fight over something really stupid, but we eventually made up, and I just think after we made up, like we both knew that like nothing was ever going to be the same between us. I just knew that I felt better off without this person, and I think I had a hard time admitting that to myself, but like I think we both knew that it just like wasn't going to be the same. I think that's why we drifted apart, but I think it was definitely my fault mostly. I think this person does a really good job of like covering up how they really feel, and I think even when we were close, like it was pretty hard to tell like how they were doing. So I think from this point, not even speaking to this person, I don't think I could ever really know how they're doing, but I can say that I do worry about this person a lot. I think that they're always going through something. Well, the most important memory to me, something that I'll always remember from this friendship, was it's not really something good, but it's just something that will always stand out to me. But we were driving somewhere, and this person was somebody who always just like looked happy, like seemed happy, expressed sadness, and this person kind of just broke down out of nowhere. And to me, I was just like, what the heck? Like, I just couldn't believe that this person like actually could show sadness, because like I said, they never really seemed to be that way. But I was kind of overwhelmed at first, and I like tried my best to comfort this person, and hopefully I did a good job. But I think it was the first time that I realized that like this person like needed me in their life, and that I was supposed to be there and like help them through things. And like I just really like felt a sense of comfort that this person confided in me, and that I was able to be there for them. So I think that's something that I'll always remember from that friendship. If I had to regret anything, I think that I regret like giving so much of myself to that person, and not in like a actual giving way, but like I feel like with any friendship or relationship that eventually ends, like you kind of feel weird about them knowing so much about you. And I think now that we aren't friends anymore, I regret giving them that part of me. And yeah, like I said, even if it's like a friendship or a relationship, I just think it's weird somebody out there knowing so much about you when you don't even speak anymore. I think that's what I would regret. Not that it's bad to like tell people things about you, but I think it's just weird that we don't speak anymore and they know so much about me. But I think after the fact, I regret not reaching out more, because I know this person did try to reach out to me and check up on me, but I never did it in return. So I think that's something I regret after the fact. It's not being there more.
So me and my friend, we used to be really close friends. We used to do everything together. We used to, like, we used to hang out a lot. And like anytime she was free, she just hit me up, and I don't know, we just went random places and we just hung out. We used to be really close friends. We used to be like best friends, and I don't know, it's sad that we're not. I was just, she was that good of a friend of mine. I was just trying to look out for her, you know, and she was a really close friend of mine. So, I guess she claimed that I was being overprotective, when on my side I was just trying to look out for her, and like trying to keep her away from the guys that I know that will break her heart. And at the end of the day, like, I don't get anything out of it. I just wanted what's best for her. Apparently I was being a little overprotective. And it sucks that we're not friends anymore, and she's still friends with other people that have done way worse to her. And I don't get how, like, I was the guy that was there for her at 4:30 at night. I was the guy that was there for her super late at night when she wanted to talk to someone. I was there for her when she couldn't share anything to her friends about, and she could only tell me, because I was the only one that she could talk to about some stuff. And I don't get that. I don't get the fact that I was there for her for so many times, for so many things, and then I get portrayed as the bad guy here. I think, I've been trying to keep some distance from her lately, as she asked me to. But I hope she's doing good. It's weird because I want to go help, but I can't because she told me to stay away. And I know it's bad for her, but it's not my place anymore. Well, I just hope she's doing good. Um, that's just the only thing I can hope. I don't want anything bad upon anyone. We there, we've done we've done. There's too many. There's just too many to mention a specific one. We used to do from like hiking to just random nights eating outside. I don't know. There's too many. There's too many to be pick one specific one out. Can't pick out a specific one that's the best one because they were all good. Well, I guess I kind of regret being that overprotective. I was just trying to look out for her at the end of the day and do good for her, but obviously that turned the wrong way, and I don't think she liked that. And I don't know. I tried saying sorry to her, and talk it out, but she doesn't want to talk about it or talk it out, and so now she and all her friends just kind of hate me and kind of keep distance from me when nobody even knows my side.
He is tall. He has big hair. He's really into art, like sculptures and stuff. He loves making those. I'm like talking like I still know him, but I haven't talked to him in a long time. But I know he's really involved in art. It never matches. Wearing like the weirdest shirt with like weird gym shorts and like weird socks. He's a character. And our relationship, we went to middle school together, but we didn't really start becoming friends until freshman year. Our friendship felt like really natural. Like for some people, whenever you first meet someone, it may feel like you have to say the right thing or act a certain way, but our friendship just felt really natural. I can't really say it's because we stopped having classes together, because I have friends that I haven't had a class with in years and I'm still really good friends with them. So, I don't know, I guess it was just like a natural thing. I think he's doing good. I see him around school with his girlfriend a lot more than I would like to. And he looks happy, so that's good. Favorite memory would have to be freshman year. We both got selected to go on a field trip, and we were riding the bus and we were both sitting at the very front together, like freaking nerds. And we were listening to music, and I think I was showing him like my music, and I was trying to like low-key keep it like cool, like show him underground stuff, and I was just trying to impress him because I may have liked him, but whatever. Listening to music together, and I don't know, it was really nice. He liked me at one point in our relationship, and he told me, and at the time I didn't like him back, and I guess honestly now I kind of regret that, because after that I realized that I liked him, but it was too late because he got a girlfriend and they're still dating, so I guess I regret just not liking him back, honestly. And I regret all the times I texted him trying to just like reconnect because it was dumb. And I regret leaving that note on his car. I regret that, but yeah, definitely some regrets, but it had to happen, I guess. Just a natural thing.
We were good friends. I would say good to best friends. They're like a good amount of time. There are a bunch of different reasons too. I feel like when it came down to it, there was really nothing super serious. It was just us like kind of being stupid, like holding stupid shit against each other, basically. Like, I feel like we both could agree that every single time we distance, it was over like a stupid reason, and we're both being like pretty stupid. We're just young and stupid or whatever. But yeah, a bunch of different reasons, none were serious at all. I feel like he's doing great. I don't know, he's always doing great as far as I've ever been able to tell. Everyone around him just loves him. He's just a fun person, energetic, has the weirdest, most like unique energy about him ever that everyone's just so attracted to and like nobody can get enough of. And he's just always been like that since like the moment I met him. So I know he's doing fine. I know he's having fun. He's literally just like, he's living his life how he wants to, and I know he's having a great time. Favorite memory, I would say probably over the summer, we went as a group to Schlitterbahn together, and we thought there was gonna be like supervision or whatever, but like it ended up there wasn't. It was just like all of us alone, like at a Schlitterbahn hotel. Our like back porch was literally like a water slide. It was crazy, but yeah, we were just at Schlitterbahn for like 3 days, like on our own, and it felt like college roommates. Or I don't know what it's like, but it was just us on our own. We were just like feeding ourselves, yeah, eating, like providing for ourselves, just hanging out, doing our own thing. But there's this one night where him and I just like sat on the back patio or whatever, and there's someone else there too, but it made it better. But we just talked like really deep about like life and talked about like really, really intimate subjects, and it was just so weird to me how I was so comfortable with him, like we could literally do that shit anywhere, but like we did it literally like at Schlitterbahn at like 1 in the morning, just like on our back patio, sitting on like these shitty ass chairs, but we still had a great time. We got super close that night. We'd been friends for a while, but like that was just a step further in like the relationship. I think if there was something I would regret, it would be trying to understand him. Definitely, he was a mysterious guy. He definitely had this like quality to him that was just so weird and different. Nobody ever knew like what was going on in his head really, and it like bothered me not understanding that. And I tried, and I would like pry really hard, like a lot towards the beginning, and then, like as time went on, I just kind of learned that like that's just who he is and that's how he wants to be. Like he doesn't want you to know about him, not that much about him, and like if he wants you to know, he'll tell you. Like you can't ask him, like you just have to wait for him to like open up to you. And so I'd say like my biggest regret was wasting so much time trying to understand when I should have just like let him tell me rather than me just like prying for it, because I was so focused on that a lot of the times. Like I wasn't appreciating the time we had together because I just didn't understand a lot of it. But like now that I look back on it, like the shit he would do is just like so funny and weird, and then just like the weirdest stuff would like make my day, and it was just I didn't understand it, and it'd take away from it because I wanted to know so bad. But like as soon as I accepted it, that I was just literally never gonna know about him, I still don't. Like it just made it so much better because that's just who he is. That's like exactly what he wants to be, and he's not gonna change for me, for anybody, I don't think.
Ginger, red hair. He's about a year older than me. He was my bestest friend. He was the coolest guy ever, and I loved him a lot. Like I saw him as a brother. I didn't see him as like just a friend. Like I saw him as family. I remember his dad was single for a while, and my parents had just gotten divorced, and I wanted to hook up his dad with my mom so we could be like stepbrothers. That didn't end up happening, so I was kind of sad. And we started drifting apart like about 2 years ago when he got a new best friend or whatever, and like he stopped talking to me as much and like hanging out with me, and I was just like, okay, that's cool. I don't like the guy just because like he's such a bad influence on him. He didn't used to do drugs before he met him, and like after like he's like different now. He changed a lot, lost interest in me, I guess. I think he's doing pretty good. He's in college right now. at Glen, and we talk every once in a while, but it's not like how we used to talk. I feel like he's doing good, but who knows? Favorite memory. We used to go downtown almost every weekend to go skate, like through the garages, and like we would just always go downtown. We was always hanging out, exploring and stuff, and skating. And yeah, it's probably my favorite. Just skating around with him was really fun. I fought him for a long time. I was like, dude, this guy's not like, he's not cool. Like, you know, he was like, no, he's cool. And I don't regret anything at this point anymore because like I did everything in my power to try to like help him, but he didn't want to. I said, oh well, can't change someone's mind. So
like the relationship that that we had, it was like real tight at the time, you know. And it was like me and him, like we just kind of get together and like, I mean, this guy could talk, but like not like the bad kind of talk. It's like the kind of talk like you can just like sit there and listen to this guy talk for hours and like it would be okay. We'd always like just go do something crazy, whether it be like buying a skateboard or just hanging out and like eating food. Like we'd always be doing something. He's kind of there from like my peaks in life and like my lowest point in life, and I don't think he like ever understand like how much they ever meant to me, you know. So we kind of drifted apart, and it was purely my fault. I guess I like lost him like whenever I was trying to like find myself, so to say. As cliche as it sounds, but I started like making new friends, and I kind of like was so focused on that I kind of like forgot about what happened with like me and him. I haven't talked to him in a long time, but I hope he's doing well because he has the sweetest heart ever, and he really deserves a lot of happiness in his life. Oh, favorite memory. We got so many. There was one time, it was actually prom night of last year. But I mean, we were sophomores, we couldn't go to prom. And so it was like me, him, and like a couple ladies snuck out. Like, nothing happened. Like it was just like we're all friends, like a group of friends. We all snuck out, and it was like 3 a.m. And, like we got like Jack in the Box and like climbed Elsa. Like, it was nothing big. And then my dad called me, and he's like, "Preston, get your ass home now." So that was just like fun because like we were kind of, you know, just being teenagers at that point, just kind of exploring the world at 3 a.m. And another time is actually multiple times that fit into like one spot. I guess it's well, Elsa England was like a place we'd like always go to because, you know, it's like you can climb on the roof and just like hang out and talk. But like one day during the summer, like we just went up there and we were just like playing soccer on a roof of a school. And that was pretty funny. And like I'm not the best at soccer, but it was just like, I don't know, we just had a lot of fun doing that. And then that same day he also helped me escape from a giant swarm of wasps. I mean like hundreds of them. And then another night we were sitting on top and I had my gem box, which is like a little speaker system, I guess. And we were playing Damn Daniel dubstep, like as loud as a speaker system could go. And there's like a neighborhood like right under Elsa England, and it was like 11:30 at night. We're just talking about like, man, this is like the way we're gonna go down, like blaring some Damn Daniel dubstep right now. Oh, another time would just be like, it was like a long day, I just got off of work. Like we're just like kind of laying down up there and just talking about like anything and everything. And I don't know if you like realize, but like come back nowadays, like I cherish those moments like a lot. Now one thing I regret was, I mean, losing contact with him because like, you know, he meant a lot to me, and still to this day he does. But like, just losing contact with him was actually probably one of my biggest regrets in like my life, honestly. Not even like just our friendship, but like in life in general. So.
My best friend was kind and genuine, and she was definitely the only person I trusted with 100% with everything. And she was outgoing and adventurous. She's definitely the most important person that's ever been in my life. We met through volleyball in middle school, and we connected right off the bat. We were very similar, and our friendship was so easy. It was the most genuine friendship I've ever had in my life. So goofy. We were always so goofy. And it was fun. We drifted apart because I think we were both in stages of our lives where both of our values changed, and we kept choosing other people over each other. Our friendship was no longer a top priority. When I was no longer playing volleyball, I was kind of angry about that, and I think I put my anger out on her, and took those feelings from not being in volleyball anymore and associated them with her in a way, and just didn't really try at our friendship and tried to hang out with other people and do other things, and I was mad at her for that, but I don't know why, because it wasn't her fault, but I think she's doing really good. I hope she is. From what I hear, she's really happy with who's in her life and where she's at right now, and that's awesome. My favorite memory is, this is gonna sound dumb, but one time she came over and we made brownies, but she was vegan, so we had to switch out the ingredients, and they were just so gross, and then we just made video stars all night. It was so fun, and I don't know, it was just a great time. I regret not trying harder when it was evident that our friendship was fading, putting aside my pride to hang out with her or talk to her about what was happening, and I guess just being so mad about something that wasn't even her fault and associating those feelings with her. I regret not trying harder, and I guess just easily throwing away a friendship over something dumb.
We did a lot of things together. After school, if she had something to do, I would go with her, or vice versa. We were literally always together, and we lived so close to each other, so it was a bet. She was my best friend for a little bit. We drifted apart because I guess we the fighting. We would always fight a lot for stupid reasons. We were just so delusional to the fact that our social lives weren't the only thing that really matters, and we were so self-centered. Me and her both were so self-centered. This was middle school, and it was a bad time. We would always fight about these stupid things that didn't even matter. Eventually we were just we both got to that point to where we just dropped each other as friends to just get rid of all the drama, I guess. Wasn't even drama, just us fighting. We would kind of come back together, but then it wouldn't work out. And then I think she moved away for a little bit. I think she's well, we still go to school together, and I still see her in the hallways, but we'll say hi to each other, so it's not we completely ended things on bad terms. But we don't click the same, so I guess that's why we're not friends now. We just grew apart, our personalities. I think that now she's just doing her, and that's she has her friends and her family to support her, but I think that even on her own, without all them, I think that she could still she just has so much confidence in what she does, and it's crazy, completely envious of her. She just does whatever she wants. I think that's so cool. Okay, so this one time, I was I cut myself on something and I was bleeding, and then she was wait, and she had a scab somewhere on her arm or something. And she was peeling it off, trying to make herself bleed because she wanted to become blood sisters. And even we just touched skin for a second, and we're okay, we're blood sisters, and that was it. And that's so stupid, but I don't know, we're blood sisters. I don't know if she remembers that, but we're blood sisters. There was a lot of stuff that I regretted, even in our friendship and out of. But I think that I learned a lot from her, and she helped me learn a lot about myself too, because of just the things that we went through.
Normal and nice, and it's But like everything that like we did together was just always fun, and it was just like never boring. I'd like always wanted to talk to him, and it was just like it was like a really weird like, oh wow, I'm actually like talking to this guy. We were like more than friends, but we like didn't take it any further than that. We were just like more than friends. It was never really anything like official. Like everything was just like really good and nice, and then like out of nowhere we just had to like stop being like romantically, I mean it wasn't really out of nowhere, we just had to stop being like romantically involved, but he like still wanted to be friends, and so we stayed friends, but it was like really hard because I still like had feelings for him and stuff. We drifted apart for like not really any reason, but we just kind of had to. Every time we would like drive together, it was always really nice, and it was just like such like a normal feeling to just like for it to just be like me and him. We just like anytime we would drive was just always really really nice, and we would always go and just sit and like just like sit in nature or just like sit and hang out and like talk, and it was really nice. I think he's doing really well. We like after we like stopped being romantically involved, we were friends, and then like stuff happened, and so we haven't talked for like 4 months. But I know that he's doing really good, and he's like doing really well, and he has like all of his other friends and stuff, and he seems to be really happy, which is really good because he rocks. I'm like sad about the way that we had to stop talking, but like I don't know. I just wish I would have been like not so dumb. I was like really dumb about everything. I've just grown up a lot more since then, and so I wish I would have been as grown as I am now. Then it would have been a lot easier.